Now, the breakthrough deal to pause the brutal and bloody 7-week-old war in West Asia for 4 days takes effect today. The first truce in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, reached after mediation by Qatar, will facilitate the release of at least 50 hostages held by Hamas militants in exchange for at least 150 Palestinians jailed in Israel. Now, these are the terms of the deal. The 4-day ceasefire in Gaza between Israel and Hamas kicked off at 7 a.m. Gaza time. Israel's Defense forces have also announced that they have completed their operational assessment of the ceasefire lines, while also stating that they have destroyed Hamas militants' tunnels that were exposed at the Al-Shifa hospital compound. The Israeli military also dropped flyers over Khan Younis in the southern Gaza Strip, and they've asked people to not head towards the north. The Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesperson also announced that the two sides had exchanged lists of those to be released, and the first group of 13 women and children held by Hamas would be freed by Friday afternoon.
We have just finished with all the communication with all parties in order to ascertain the lists of those civilians who will be freed as a result of the deal agreed upon by both parties. The lists have been handed to both sides, and finally, in a communication just now, the list has been handed to the Israeli intelligence service, the Mossad, in order to facilitate the implementation of the deal.
Although he did not say how many Palestinians jailed in Israel would be freed, but according to the Israeli army radio, the first batch of 39 Palestinian prisoners will be released at around 1800 hours GMT, and that this will only occur if the hostages held in Gaza are on Israeli soil. Now, the diplomatic breakthrough promised some relief for the 2.3 million Palestinians in Gaza who have endured weeks of Israeli bombardment. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also praised the ceasefire agreement. Egypt, which often plays as peace broker between the warring sides, has pushed for a ceasefire since the conflict erupted on the 7th of October.
وقد تكللت الجهود المصرية المشتركة مع الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية والأشقاء القطريين في الوصول لاتفاق هدنة إنسانية لمدة 4 أيام قابلة للتمديد، وآمل أن يبدأ تنفيذها في الأيام القادمة دون تأخير أو تسويف.
Meanwhile, international humanitarian aid trucks were waiting to enter the Gaza Strip from Egypt ahead of the imminent temporary truce between Israel and Hamas. The long line of trucks was parked up in El Arish, waiting for approval to head towards the Rafah crossing with Gaza. Now, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gathered his top security officials together late on Thursday for a meeting of the war cabinet. The meeting came just hours ahead of a 4-day ceasefire in Gaza. Israeli President Isaac Herzog met with the newly appointed UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron, who was making his first visit to Israel since taking over the job. Cameron also said that the humanitarian pause in the war was an opportunity to get aid into Gaza, adding that the UK would help with that.
Of course, all hostages must come out, because hostage taking is immoral and wrong and a terrorist tactic. And some of them are British hostages, so we have a strong interest with you. But I think this humanitarian pause is also an opportunity to get aid into Gaza.
Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez and Belgian Prime Minister Alexander De Croo also visited southern Israeli communities attacked by Hamas militants. Sanchez, wearing a flak jacket, walked through debris and into a home that was burned during the attack last month. The two leaders also held a meeting with the director of the Civil Commission for the crimes committed by the militant group. Moreover, according to the Lebanese movement, Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian has met with Hassan Nasrallah, the Hezbollah chief, who sits in Lebanon. While at the war front, the Israeli military released footage of a strike that it said killed a Hamas commander. The IDF said that the strike killed Amar Abu Jalala, who is the commander of the Hamas naval forces in Khan Younis. Viewers, according to reports, the Israeli airstrike in Khan Younis killed at least 4 people. A severely wounded boy was among the injured brought to the city's Nasser hospital to be treated. Now, while an airstrike in Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza killed at least 12 people, including children, the dead bodies that were recovered have been taken to Al-Aqsa hospital.
فجأة ضربوا البيت على الأطفال على الصغار على كل البيت دمروه. يعني هذا هو الاحتلال. بقتل الصغار والأولاد والنساء والأطفال. هذول هم اللي بيقاوموا، هذول اللي بيحاربوا، اللي في دورهم آمنين صغار أطفال في فوق 30 طفل في الدار.
Meanwhile, on Israel's northern border, the Iran-backed Hezbollah group intensified its attacks on Israel from southern Lebanon, where Israeli bombardments killed 7 of its fighters, including members of an elite unit.